Alright, cadets. Those of ye who be foolhardy enough to still wish to pursue life as pilots for spaceflight after all that we've shown you, I have a final lesson. You, despite knowing the risks of passing black holes or large stars while in FTL. Who know what happens when an FTL drive fails to work at any point in its activation, from startup not putting up the energy shield, all the way to failing on exit resulting in a gory mess. Who fully understand and have been drilled on the dangers of hostile races or tribal planets. Or a myriad other issues that space presents. Knowing all of these and choosing to still be a pilot means one of three things. Either you are foolish, brave, or foolishly brave. Well, no matter what of these three that you happen to fall under, this last lesson is one that I need to drill into the heads of every single class I teach. Here is the map of the galaxy and its many stars and dangers many of you have no doubt grown to know by heart. I'm going to circle a specific area on this map and zoom in. You all tell me if you notice anything. After waiting for a few minutes, several graspers went up and the odd signal light from aquatic species. That's right, cadets. Here be a star removed from the map for all civilians and non-pilots for that matter. This star is above top secret. Even our government in ages past decided that they themselves are not allowed to know about it. The things that live in the light of this star are so deceptive that our government at the time hesitated, not even for a half a local rotation, in ordering a colonial mission. Any of you familiar with our old government are probably feeling shock. After all, let alone rotations, our old government struggled to make a decision in a full local orbit. The presenter clicks a remote and several video screens and multiple bands of light appeared on holograms around the room. Is called a human. This is a human in its normal daily routine, on fast forwards of course, so that we can watch it quickly and understand. This is the data the old governments would have used to decide on whether or not to colonize an already populated world. As all of you should know from your history classes, what standards they used. Will you tell me why this looks so enticing? Trick question. I know at least 3/4 of you don't remember jack squat from history, so I'll just tell you. First of all, external information. The average human is 5ft2 to 5ft6. On the screens, you will see the equation for conversion to our units. Please use that quickly. Now then, these things are half of our height on average. Look closer. No fur, no scales, no hard carapace, no noticeable defense externally at all. This points to endurance hunters or prey at the bottom of the food chain. As is standard, we assumed they were bottom of the food chain and managed to advance simply due to their intelligence in order to become the dominant species. This has been seen in dozens of cases, and there was no yet known precedent for a sentient species developing from endurance hunters. More on that later. So no noticeable external defenses, seemingly a bottom food chain prey animal that got lucky enough to evolve intelligence. Now then, let's look at them biologically from a specimen that we captured. This specimen upon capture began to secrete a substance from its pores. At first we thought it was some sort of toxic defense mechanism, and it was avoided. However, after analysis, it is hydroxygen mixed with traces of bodily waste. From this specimen, we assumed that the species, as a fear response, sheds this hydroxygen that it needs for many other biological functions. A species with not only few defenses, but also somehow evolved a trait that would deprive it of an essential for its own life. We found that the internal structure of the creature was rather fascinating. Its muscle fibers were complex and dense, but its fat-to-muscle ratio made the muscle negligible at best. The immune system was rather complex, but seemed to attack the host's own body when exposed to local flora. It has a rather notable healing rate though, as where it would take us at least 3 full orbits to recover a broken internal support. These creatures take as little as 4 partial orbits. They did have some redundant systems for most organs. However, they have a single blood transportation organ and a single organ responsible for sentience and function. Destroy either of these and this species will die near instantly. This was by far the weakest, easiest to conquer species the old government had ever encountered, according to the standards at the time. We know now that those humans are some of the most dangerous creatures to ever walk this creasing forsaken galaxy. My language there may be strong. The humans, however, have warranted that, as you will see. You see, when the first colony ship arrived with its warriors, they died in mere minutes. When the data was sent back from their implants, we learned that they were killed almost instantly by diseases on the planet. That warranted the governments at the time to do a more in-depth analysis of the planet and its dominant life. The kinds of things they learned after doing some more thorough scouting make most of them shed until bald, or permanently change color, or whatever the fear-stress equivalent in their species was. Let's view some examples, shall we? The projector screens begin to show slightly sped-up videos of a particular sport. Is a human playing sports for the entertainment of other humans? This sport is called baseball and is considered one of the more tame and less physical or dangerous sports. This taught us many different things about the species. First and foremost was their insane throwing capabilities. Please note the readout on their measuring devices for speed. The average speed of thrown projectiles was 93 miles an hour at the time of this recording. On screen now is the speed conversion calculation for our standard units of measurement. That's right, this ball moves at speeds faster than we legally allow on any terrestrial travel lanes. Yet we know for a fact that this speed has continued to get higher since our last analysis. The next thing of note would be the hit rate of the humans with their bat, as it is astonishingly high. This is an athlete and, of course, somewhat of an outlier. The average reaction time for a professional baseball player is 1/3 RD of a single second. This is the conversion calculation for units of time. As you can see, this reaction time is roughly 0.3 times faster than our own at the time of this recording. We, however, are aware that they have been improving their own biology to make this reaction time faster. At this point, we believe they wholly perceive time differently from us. This sport also taught us that humans are very much endurance predators, as this sport includes a lot of running and physical work for periods of up to almost 3 hours. The next recording is of a sport that the humans call mixed martial arts, or MMA. I'll silently let this one play out for a single round in real time. That's real-time, cadets. Please note the reaction times of these fighters, as it is almost twice as fast as a baseball player. The next thing of note would be the overwhelming force with which these fighters can hit each other with and endure. At the time of this recording, it was noted that these fighters with variances due to body size, physique, and several other factors could hit with the force of 700 to 12 pounds of force behind it. The conversion is on screen now. Please do the math. If you all did your math correctly, and I see a few of you obviously have as you changed color, then you know that these things can throw punches that will rip through one side of you and out the other. We now believe, with their improved biology from their genetic standardizations, that this figure has at least doubled. The weakest of the humans, now even out on the street, can exert 500 pounds of force with a punch. Now we will move on to human soldiers. These things are monsters no matter how you look at them. Here are their training exercises. Things they consider routine: 10-mile jogs lifting hundreds of pounds. Hand-to-hand combat that sometimes becomes more intense than those MMA fighters shown previously. These human soldiers, too, have reportedly been able to see projectiles fired from weapons over long distances and react to them, avoiding harm. Think about the kind of kinetic vision and reaction time that would be required for that. Now you will notice I said soldiers, not warriors, and some will think that is simply their word for warrior. You are wrong. They had warriors in the past, but don't have them anymore. Their mindset now is something along the lines of a warrior is someone who uses honorable combat to make up for lack of precise skill. A soldier is someone who has perfected their combat arts and no longer needs honor as a handicap. These soldiers have perfected the art of warfare and combat and will easily overwhelm our soldiers if they ever even manage to set foot on this planet and survive the environment. With these soldiers defending the rest of the civilians, then these humans should not just be at the top, but the very pinnacle of ANY food chain they find themselves in. Finally, we arrive at the environmental factors of their planet. First, the hottest and coldest temperatures ever recorded on their homeworld are respectively 136 degrees Fahrenheit and -126 Fahrenheit. On screen is the conversion. You know the drill. The flora on this planet are poisonous enough to wipe out whole worlds by themselves. But to the humans, these toxins are mild irritants such as poison oak or ivy. A portion of the human population is even outright immune to them. The animals are equally nightmare-inducing, and yet the humans have managed to tame or befriend almost every species on the planet. From rhinos to grizzly bears, and some even keep insects with venom so wildly toxic that it can kill hundreds of grown humans with what's injected into a single bite. In summary, to you who are brave, to you who are foolish, and you who are foolishly brave. You see this star? DONTA, you see HTHISESTAR. That's the end of the lesson for today. All of your classes for the next week are waived to allow you all to process this frankly traumatic information. Rest well, cadets. End of story.